if you can't find a job, create one. When you think about, self-employment, and when you think about small businesses, that's where you will see a lot of it in the Hispanic and the African American community, because they have been tremendously affected by recession and unemployment.
I think the recession was huge in terms of people finding other ways to make ends meet. So, if it's that snow cone or candy shop in the summer, if it's folks fixing meals, if it's somebody who may be doing hair in their basement or in their living room. I think those types of very serious situations for many folks will force people to make particular decisions in terms of making sure that they have food, clothing, and shelter.
I grew up with, his name is Richie, and I was a little kid, and he used to be out here working. And I was just fascinated by how he used to work on cars and make stuff work. But like, man, I want to do that. And I always noticed I always kept money in his pocket. So I'm like, hey, man, I don't mind getting dirty if I can make some money.
Well, like I said, this is my mother's snowball stand, and she doing it to help, like my sister, she going to college, and she helped me sometimes with, bills or whatever. But she just do it just to be doing it. Sometimes she do it just to do it.
The motivation behind it is finding out that it's a gift, and I'm passionate about it. I started doing it with myself and my family, and I recognized that I had talent and a passion for it. So I wanted to go to school and expand it, know more about it, so I can have it for a career.
It's a struggle when you ain't like, if I sell all this candy, and then ain't nothing for me. I gotta go back to the store and restock up. So it ain't even nothing for me to spend.
The people that normally would take their cars to a big shop, they can't afford to pay, so they'll bring the car to somebody like me because they know I'll fix it at a cheaper price. You gotta keep up with the times. You have to buy tools. You got phone bills. You got personal bills. So see, the work is not guaranteed to be there every day. So when you do make some money, you have to use it. A bill will come up, or something you might need money for. A phone bill, or library, anything.
Define working poor or people who don't have income.
Well, I would say having to be able to make your own things and be able to try to sell them, use your own ideas, and trying to sell them to people to make a way of living.
Can you define it in your own words?
A person who works but cannot make all the ends meet and still be like below poverty level?
I would say the working poor would be, I guess, minimum wage laborers.
I don't know. Having to live paycheck to paycheck.
Be someone who's they're working but they can never make enough money to actually eat and provide for a family.
Like, what you think it means?
People who are below the poverty line but still able to find a job.
Working poor to me is, it's like working from day to day. Trying to squeeze every penny out of, it's just, if you working, and if you stop working, if you don't work every day and work hard every day all day, it's like you almost want to starve. You almost started that. It's hard. It's real hard out here. People don't have money like they used to have.
I could be working a job, but I'm living check to check. That's what I think working poor is.
It's almost like building on sinking sand. You're constantly trying to create something or build upon something, but your foundation is not strong enough.
Really, I always wanted to be self-employed or entrepreneur for myself, because I really didn't see myself working a 9-to-5 job and waiting a week and a half to get paid. I want to go into my own salon, not just a salon, but a full-service salon for hair, nails, massage, facial, everything.
I would love to find me a smaller garage to rent, a decent size, nothing too big, nothing too small, maybe like 6, 7 cars.
And so when a person's business expands, we really want that. But at the same time, you have to do things the right way, and you have to do it in a legitimate way.
In today's environment, it can be very difficult to expand your business. There are a number of factors that you have to worry about. Number one is competition. because it may be that I have a lot of competition, and therefore, in order for me to expand my business, then I've got to take away customers of someone else.
In this day and age, because to expand your business, first you have to get it off the ground. So I always think about, people who start restaurants, people who start internet startup companies, those things, there's a lot of hit and miss in it. So a lot of times people could be quite successful with it, but other times, in fact, more times than not, they don't necessarily get off the ground.
Which is always a challenge, because people sometimes trust the product or service that they're already using.
But that doesn't mean that they shouldn't stop. But I think it takes quite a bit of hard work, especially in the area of research, in terms of researching what's been happening, what are the particular trends, how are you trying to enter the particular field.
Sooner or later, the money ends up in the system anyway. If you go into the store to buy a pop, it ends up in the system anyway.
I've always advocated, though, that if you need a license, make sure you get the right kind of license. If you need some legal support, make sure you have those kinds of things in place in order to protect yourself in the long run.
The tax code really has some problematic structures in terms of how small business owners are taxed.
See, when you're self-employed, we don't want the community to look at that as a bad thing. That's actually a great thing, because the whole purpose of being a part of, human services is to promote self-sufficiency.
I mean, we've been here for 43 years. Some people really appreciate you. It makes me feel good when they drive away and they keep coming back.
I think in a lot of instances, we could work much more effectively together. Okay, we could pool some of our resources and our focus together that would enable us to be more successful.
I have a respect for anyone who's not necessarily just sitting at home on the couch waiting for someone to just call them, because there are so many millions of people that are out of jobs. There are millions of people that are overqualified for jobs, but that are just not being called. And so I would encourage anyone to use their wit and use whatever wisdom that they had to come up with witty inventions that could potentially turn into a multi-million-dollar business.